Alright guys, we're back with another review. Don't mind my sleeping dog here. Anyways, my wife and I started redoing the computer room slash office, YouTube editing video room, whatever. This is like an all-purpose kind of room right now. So we built some new desks out of IKEA furniture. And we did the whole IKEA tabletop, countertop and stuff like that. So in putting the desk back together and setting everything up with the mood lighting and the LEDs and everything, we found that our soundbar that we were using, and I know everybody's going to say no soundbar, no soundbar. We don't have a lot of money, so I don't have monitors up on the walls. But we were using an old Sony soundbar. The soundbar was almost 10 years old. It sounded like, I want to say it sounded like somebody had put coverings over the speakers. The sub wasn't thumping really hard. So there wasn't a full range of audio, and you really couldn't make out the left and right channels. So we ended up, in this video, we're going to be looking at the Vizio soundbar, the 36-inch soundbar. It's a 2.1 surround. It has multiple connections. I filmed a little piece earlier saying that I didn't hook it up with digital audio. As it sits right now, it is hooked up with digital audio. I found that one of my connections on my motherboard were the issue, and it wasn't the digital audio output. So it's hooked back to digital audio, and it sounds just as good as it did before. So I was quite surprised. So let's get in and take a look at the soundbar and see what we got. Again, so the soundbar is 36 inches. It has the subwoofer is wireless, so it's just a plug into the wall, plug into the plug the soundbar into the wall, plug the sub into the wall. The subwoofer is a 3.5-inch driver, and I believe the ones that are in the soundbar, I think those are 1.5-inch drivers, or maybe they're 2.5-inch drivers. But they don't sound like they're that small. They put out a lot of sound for that little that little space that it takes up. It was easy to set up. Took like 3 to 5 minutes to set up. Everything's pretty much plug and play. The hardest part is figuring out how to run the wires, try to get it as minimalistic as possible, and hide the wires, which I still have to work on, unfortunately. So in the box, when you open it up, the subwoofer is going to be in the big part of the box. It's all wrapped in, packaged in foam. It's packaged really, really nice. And the soundbar will come up the top of the box. Almost looks like a guitar case. The box was a little mangled when we picked it up. I was a little concerned about that, but when I opened the box, I saw how it was packed in foam and styrofoam and all wrapped up. And I mean, it handled pretty good. So whoever dropped it handled it good. We picked up the soundbar at Walmart. I think we paid $160 for it. Vizio has it listed on their website for $149.99 as MSRP. You can get it from Target, Walmart, a bunch of different places you can get the soundbar from. I've seen other reviewers use this as their computer speaker setup. This is more apt for a living room. I wouldn't put it in a large living room. I don't think there's enough power to handle a large living room. However, I'm used to the old school floor standing surround 7.1 channel surround sound system, which is what we're running in our living room right now. I have Denon receivers, Denon amplifiers. I have all Polk audio expensive speakers. I mean, we spent thousands and thousands of dollars on that system, and it sounds incredible. So this Vizio kind of compares to it. It'll get up there in volume. The higher up in volume you go, the muddier the subwoofer seems to get. Not muddier, I should say. It doesn't hit as hard. It's almost like there's sound processing going on, so it'll turn the level of the subwoofer down as you turn the volume up on the soundbar. So, but other than that, that's really the only flaw that I can find on it. It'll still thump at a high volume. I mean, it'll rattle itself across the floor. If you have tile floor or hardwood floor, it'll vibrate and move on its own. It'll just walk itself across the room, or however long the power cord will allow it to go. So don't let it fool you. It sounds good. So I'll get you up on the desk. We'll take a look at some of the controls and how it's connected, and then we'll get you down below, show you how small the subwoofer is. Again, it's all wireless. And when I plugged it in, everything automatically paired by itself. A little voice came up on the soundbar, said it was pairing, found the device, and that was it. I did nothing else besides put batteries in a remote and plug it into the back of the computer. So we'll get you on the desk and show you what's going on there. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is the soundbar. It just fits right up underneath the monitors. Here's the top buttons. So you got your power button. This is your input button. So this is where you can change your inputs, whether you do TV, HDMI, regular optical output. It also has Bluetooth, so you can stream from your phone right to this without any additional wires, or you can hook it up with the headphone jack, the old school headphone jack. I know a lot of our phones don't have the headphone jacks anymore, so that might be a little difficult. So then you got your volume up and down buttons, and when you change the setting on a remote, so if I'm turning the volume down, here's your indicator right here in the back, so you can see it going up as I'm turning the volume up and down. So I'll get you closer in with the remote. There you go with the remote. The remote is really, really thin. The buttons are rubberized. It's a little plastic remote, standard remote that you would normally get. And then the connections in the back. This is going to be a little difficult here. So I have this plugged into my computer. So I have the Monster cable, but I just go right to the headphone jack. My computer is capable of digital audio out. However, I don't use digital audio out. I've run into some issues with it in the past. So here's where the power gets plugged into, and then I just have the power running down, and then you have a USB port, and then on this side you have there's your optical input and your HDMI, and then here Vizio sells a piece to use with your smart home, Amazon Alexa, Google Home, and the Apple, the Apple Home. Down below, we have the subwoofer. So it's excuse my mess down here. Like I said, we just finished. The cable management's not so good. So you have it's a backfiring port. There's where the link button is, and the power cord, and the subwoofer. And the subwoofer is underneath, so it's down and back firing. So So I know cable management. I need better cable management. So the old Sony that we were running again was really old. So this is a replacement for it. I know, with video editing, you really shouldn't be using a soundbar. I really had no problem using a soundbar. Again, I'm just starting out too. I'm not a professional. So there's probably a lot of audio editing and processing that I'm not doing, that I'm missing out on. I did forget, however, to show you the other thing that comes in the box, which is your hardware box. So in the hardware box, you're going to get a digital audio optical wire, which is kind of hard to come by for a system, especially at this price point. You get an HDMI cable, and it's a heavy-duty HDMI cable. It's not a cheap cable. At least it doesn't feel like a cheap cable. Haven't tried it, so that remains to be seen. You get your mounting brackets mounted on the wall. You get your remote, and they include batteries. And these are not no-name batteries. These are Duracell batteries, so they don't cheap out on a battery issue. But here's your remote. So I mean, you get your volume buttons in the middle, your selectors. I believe if you have a Vizio TV plugged into, and you plug the Vizio bar, you can control either this can control your TV and the soundbar, or your TV remote can control the soundbar. There's a bunch of different things that you can do. But you have your bass, your equalizer, your subwoofer level. You press that, and then you press up and down on the D-pad to change the levels of everything. So everything's adjustable. You can adjust the treble separately, the bass separately, and the subwoofer level separately. You can mute the system, and then you have your virtual surround settings and all that. Again, I don't know how the sound processing goes for something like that with only having 3 speakers, but 2 speakers really. You get the 2 left and right channels, and then you get the subwoofer, which is 0.1. What they call it. So, but again, I would definitely look into this soundbar if you're in the market for one. You won't be disappointed. Again, as far as quality, it seems like it's put together fairly well. The subwoofer is light. The subwoofer feels cheap when you're pulling it out of the box, but it doesn't sound cheap. The soundbar itself feels like it's a decent quality. It doesn't feel like it's a cheap soundbar. We'll have to we'll do a sound test, see what it sounds like. Let you guys hear some of the samples that I took of how it sounds. Again, it's coming through a cell phone microphone, so you're probably not going to pick up all the audio the best, but we'll give it a shot anyway. Alright guys, we're going to take a little sound test here. Here's what it sounds like. So, alright, so to recap, would I buy it again if it broke? Yeah, I would. Is it worth your money? Yeah, it is. Especially, it's under $200. The other soundbars that we looked at were over $200, and they didn't sound as good as this. So this is definitely worth your money. So I would definitely check this out if you're in the market for a soundbar, or if you don't like the soundbar that you already have, you want to replace it with something that's a little bit boomier, that might fill the room a little bit better with some, better quality audio, definitely look into this. Make sure you check out my wife's channel, Surviving the Slomskys, for the build that we're doing here in this room. We still got to finish painting. We're waiting on some carpet and waiting on some sound deadening. So hopefully we can get this echo that you guys are hearing down. So stay tuned for all that. Check out her channel. All that stuff will be on her channel. And later on in the week, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Or if you don't like this video, you can hit the thumbs down button. That's fine too. However, I do have a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus coming courtesy of Verizon for review. They'll probably be my weekly driver. I'm going to take the SIM card out of my Pixel 6 Pro. I've been on Pixels since they've come out, and even Nexuses when they were out. I haven't owned a Samsung phone since the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. So we'll see if anything has changed. We'll see how that phone goes. I know they're hard to get right now, and the pre-orders have been pushed back. Some of the pre-orders aren't shipping now, from what I've heard, until late May, early June. So I was lucky enough to have one. I did get my shipping confirmation this afternoon, and it should be here either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll try and get a video out on those for you. And whether or not you should run out and buy one, or if you should just pick up an S21 or pick up a Galaxy Tab S7 or F7 Plus. As I heard, there's not much changes on them, but we'll focus on that in a later video. So stay tuned for all that stuff. Again, subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you at the end of the week. Thanks for watching.